we're consistently late. I always want to get on at 10 o'clock, but it doesn't work because that's when a lot of calls start happening. Well, even during the day right now, even during the day, because everybody wants to know about the closed down airspace over uh, El Paso, over the Santa Teresa Jet Port of Entry. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, about 8 hours it lasted, not quite 8 hours. They want to know about that. They also are calling to let us know some breaking news. A lot of breaking news. We have it confirmed. A government official confirmed it that the El Paso ISD Police Department, along with the nod by the very corrupt and threat to public safety Texas Rangers, Cody Carter to be exact, lied to uh, the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton about the legendary Julio Cordero, FBI agent Julio Cordero, in their statement, saying that he had a rock in his hand, when in fact, uh, El Paso ISD officer who shot in the dark, shot Julio Cordero in the dark, out of his line of sight, just shot, and this is at a school, y'all. This is at a school. He could have shot anybody, right? Had said that it seemed like he had picked up a rock. He didn't see it because of the low light, and he said he threw it, whatever he had, threw it um, before he um, fell back. Remember, he fell back. Um, well, I don't know if we've read the report and discussed it, but he fell back over a stone. The El Paso ISD police officer, a landscape stone, fell over, and that must have made him afraid or panic or whatever, and he shot in the dark. Um, and that is how Julio Cordero was shot and killed. And so that is, contradictory to what the El Paso ISD reported to the Attorney General Ken Paxton. Uh, it contradicts it. Um, they lied. They lied to Ken Paxton. That's what they did. And Cody Carter, the Texas Ranger from Company E, has been Company E, yeah, exposed because he gave the nod. He said, oh, he didn't say anything, and he knew he was in charge of that case. Um, and this is, yeah, it's just breaking news. So I just wanted to tell you all that before we get started, because that was not really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the sighting of Lance Twiggs and how Lance Twiggs and Jerry Twiggs, his grandfather, and Tyler Robinson and his family all connect with the Mormon faction El Paso cartel that is responsible for um, for the targeting, um, the retaliation, um, our son losing his life, and the cover up, the disposal, the obstruction, everything. Yeah, it's all connected together. And of course, that then connects the Charlie Kirk case to our son's case, Fort Huachuca with Fort Bliss, which connects it to, of course, the Jeffrey Epstein, John of God pipeline, which is connected to, of course, the Walmart mass shooting, which is connected to the the tampering and interference in our election, in our 2020 election, by attacking President Trump with a false narrative to affect the election. So let's get started. I mean, it's just been, I mean, everything is coming together. And that's why the reports for the closure of airspace over El Paso. Thank you, Laura, for coming on so late all the time. Thank you so much. And I can see you now. Um, but the reports of, oh, this about the airspace, oh, it was just a balloon in the sky, or it was a cartel drone. That's what they're, and I believe that there was a cartel drone because there's been so many cartel drones that have been breaching our national security and flying over El Paso and trafficking, right? So, and we know that the drone program is right there. Um, White Sands Missile Range. We know White Sands Missile Range, even the child care on White Sands Missile Range, and I believe it was 2020, maybe 2019, that they had reports of terrible things done to children in their own on post daycare. Um, and this is really important to piece all this together with what's going on in Charlie Kirk's case, in Erica Kirk's, uh, everyone looking into her and her mother, Lori, wearing the E9 Marine um, insignia. Um, okay, we were thinking, okay, maybe that was given to her, right? Maybe that was given to her as, like a pen or something like that. But wait a minute, on her website, she said that she has gotten an award. And that award, the criteria for that award means you have to be active duty. And there she is wearing the Marine Corps E9. Um, yeah, there's no coincidences in this. And the contracts, and of course, we know with the generals, all these contracts. And then, of course, with Acuna working for El Paso ISD and the Texas Rangers being weaponized, mainly in cases that have to do with the independent school districts there, um, because the independent school districts get these contracts, these uh, in really big contracts. So it's like the military industrial complex contracts, and then the education industrial complex contracts, and they weaponize and compromise um, the Texas Rangers and our military leadership, and uh, it just blows your mind. Um, the level of betrayal. So, and all this is coming out, and of course, it's connected to our son's case because of the reports that he was making, including maybe this one in Albuquerque, right? In Albuquerque, the one that I just posted on our fine Richard Halliday. I think I posted it now on X and Truth. Um, so let's get started. This is day 2022, I believe, 2022. And since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room there on Fort Bliss, the prime suspects are a CID agent and platoon leader. And so this is a code red, okay? This is a code red. Um, First sergeant, right? First sergeants. Um, and he was taken down to the basement room, which is the um, arms room, which is a soundproof room, and his life was taken from him, and his body was stolen off of Fort Bliss with the aid and help of DES Thomas Kane. DES stands for Director of Emergency Services. He is the man that absolutely oversees the the gate guards, the all the cameras, all the camera footage, everything. So with the aid of the DES Thomas Kane, Richard's body was stolen off of Fort Bliss, and his body was trafficked to Juarez, Mexico. And this has been corroborated by many, and not just one, okay, by many. And and evidence indicates that his organs were harvested. Evidence indicates that they absolutely monetized him. Um, and of course, the family of Alexandra Gerhard Hofmann, the victim in the Walmart case, the German victim in the Walmart case, in the picture that I just released again, that proves there was staging in this, which uh, that's I should get into that too. Um, that family, that German family, the family of this German national, right, had was in possession of our son's credit cards and financial documents after Richard was gone. So the Walmart mass was murdered, right? So the Walmart mass shooting was the 3rd of August, 2019, and Richard lost his life in July of 2020. So you're talking almost a year, right? 11 months there difference. And in those 11 months, a lot happened. A lot happened. And the two cases are very connected. Of course, we know that Richard was reporting on how Fort Bliss was tied to the Walmart mass shooting. We know he was reporting on child exploitation, the worst type of crimes against children, and many more things. And the the Walmart report is what they really feared, uh, because feared for it to get out and people to discover what they had done, because what they had done is a very, very violent crime in order to fabricate a false narrative, in order to attack a political opponent, to tamper with an election. That's what they did. That's what they did. And it's um, it's very, very clear. And so, you have a lot of attacks on President Trump and his administration, but we want to tell you that he's been attacked, and we know he's been attacked. So this is this is him in a deep state war, right? He's in a war with the deep state. And it's so if you want to know why this is not happening or this is happening or whatever, I think you can get a really good picture of what's going on, and the negotiations that are going on right now. And I'm not telling you one is right and one is wrong. I'm not telling you that at all. I'm telling you that there is some clashing going on. And that's why things are so volatile right now. Um, and so, and we, of course, we are on this. I guess you have to pick sides, right? I think you have to pick a side to be on. Are you going to which side do you want to be on? And we're picking President Trump's because we see the attacks happening against him and that the accountability is coming from him. The accountability with the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein, with Ghislaine Maxwell, with El Chapo, with El Mayo, Chapo's sons, with Cesar Duarte, with the um, um, Venezuelan, what was his name, Maduro, who was stealing fuel, right? Um, and on and on. It is very clear that he shut down. The FAA shut down the airspace that these cartels fly into, and we also know from Fort Bliss, there was like $2 million stolen in this time period. There was drone technology stolen. We know that Erica Kirk's mother is in the business of drone technology. And what do I mean by that? Well, she's with the EMT, I believe, EMF. Um, yeah, EMF, where they put a coating on these drones to protect them from energy surges, energy attacks. So, everything is connected to these contracts, to these locations, to uh, research, research that is uh, really a Ponzi scheme. Okay, it's a Ponzi scheme. And because they've been doing it for years and years and years. And what do I mean? Decades and decades they were doing it. Um, for decades during World War II and before that, people were trying to research all the regenerative powers that life has. For example, like a lizard that can regrow its tail, right? And they're trying to create a formula from it, right? They're trying to get the recipe. The recipe, I guess that's the best way to put it. They're trying to make a recipe, and the recipe consists of numbers. So they're attempting to mathematize it. Um, and that mathematizing it, because the one thing you have to understand is that there are so many variables, right? There are so many variables. uh, God did it on purpose. There's so many things that are the unknown, right? That can happen, and the timing and all the things that go with all those variables when you're trying to make a mathematical formulation, a recipe, and then, what do you bake it on? Is it a heaping spoonful or a flat spoonful, or is there some kind of magic pinch of a salt that is in it? And, you can go on and on. And well, there's so many. Is the temperature during the day um, just right to get the temperature of the oven, the humidity level, I can go on and on and on about all the different variables for recipes and all of that. Try making some shortbread. You've got to pick a good day for shortbread, right? To work out. And what Jeffrey Epstein, what these elites um, in this area in Santa Fe, um, the laboratory there, and I've been listening to the interview, which is Oh, so telling, right? So telling. And it really, what a Ponzi scheme. Because the one thing that the interview really, really tells you over and over again is deception, deception, deception. It's such a con job. And he seems pretty good at doing a con job. But he's just deceiving you and lying the whole time. The whole time from, oh, children shouldn't have to write, and um, we shouldn't have. Oh, what all did he say about education? It was just like such nonsense. It was such deception, over and over again. And um, and he's talking about Newton and what it takes to push a ball until you get to the edge of the table and then it just falls off. I mean, it is just deception, deception, at one right after the other in order to get billions and billions and trillions of dollars in government funding, for a lab, or not even government funding, but even investors, and then to say, okay, we can figure out life everlasting and we can digitize it, right? And in order to, people were falling for it. I guess they were falling for it. He had the lab, he had Zorro Ranch, and he was trafficking the whole time. This whole time, everybody was trafficking and making the trafficking happen. Like that was part of the recipe, right? And really, it was to compromise everybody involved in it
Mhm.
so that he could keep on conducting this Ponzi scheme. And then, if you have someone really bright, like, let's say, Charlie Kirk, who, fool me once. I mean, it seems, it seems that he was fooled by Erica Kirk. He married Erica Kirk. Um, Today, Candace Owens released a text messages that Erica Kirk had when she was 25 years old with a 15-year-old that absolutely grooming, indicated grooming, and a very what it gave me shivers because it was so like this same vibe, the same vibe from people that we have met in Richard's case when we were in El Paso, and when we've talked to people on the phone. It's that same vibe. Um, and so they're connected. I can tell you that right now, if it looks like um, if it looks like a chicken and it acts like a chicken and it squawks like a chicken, or what is it, a duck? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck, then it's a duck, right? It's a duck. You don't have to guess. And this is just repeat, repeat, repeat of the same kind of pattern, the same kind of cartel pattern, the same type of grooming pattern, the same type of deception pattern. And it is like reeks from Jeffrey Epstein, reeks of this pattern. And he is messing with shakers and movers, big business owners, billionaires. And he has compromised them. Okay. He has compromised them. He wanted their money, he wanted their business, and he's compromised them. And he's compromised them by a Ponzi scheme, a Ponzi scheme that then turned into participation in a the worst type of crimes against children, right? And also fearing STDs and, just really messing up the movers and shakers in this country, really messing them up. And I'm not defending them. But what I'm saying is that when they're messed up, it messes us up. Okay. It messes up our economy. It messes up what we produce. And, there's all kinds of ramifications for messing with these high stake players and promising them something that they're never going to get on their terms, right? And this whole digitizing and then turning it into a financial instrument, lots of money laundering going on, lots of embezzlement going on. And they want, to do that with impunity, and and it really exposed them. It really has entrapped them um, with all of this, and that goes then to um, the question that I posed when I began tonight's live stream: is why hasn't Lance Twiggs been arrested? Why hasn't he been arrested? Um, there has to be a warrant out for his arrest, right? And I think that there was enough information there that they should have arrested him along with Tyler Robinson, right, to at least question him. And and I think he has been questioned, right? I think he has been. Um, but there's more to this, right? There's more to this because of everything surrounding Erica Kirk and everyone surrounding Erica Kirk. And so, just like the El Paso ISD with the nod from Cody Carter lied to AG Paxton, and that means manipulating files, tampering with files, all of this stuff. That's a no-no, right? If you want to have a a healthy country, right? A healthy country, you can't do that kind of stuff. So, um, and it's illegal on top of that. So, if you're in, oh, wondering, uh, gosh, I lost my train of thought. It's only almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I really need to come on earlier when I'm um, full of vim and vigor. But why haven't they arrested Lance Twiggs, right? Why didn't um, Texas Ranger Cody Carter uh, stick up and say, he's from Company E, okay? Company E. And so, and I'm going to put these two things together because Company E, of course, Gustavo Sanchez was assigned to our case. And really, the intimidation, the threats, everything. Um, and he should have recused himself and he should have came out and spoke up when the CCTV footage was released in October of 2020 of Nadal Baim. And they kept silent. The Texas Rangers kept silent when they absolutely knew who Nadal Baim is. Gustavo Sanchez should have said, "Oh, yeah, that's my family member. That's my close family member," right? They should have told us who he was. No, we had to figure out for ourselves who he was, but they all knew. They all knew. And this is where Cody Carter comes in and play because he also knew. He knew um, that Julio Cordero did not have the rock in his hand, yet he allowed El Paso ISD to lie to the Attorney General in Texas, Ken Paxton, about Julio Cordero's death. and he's a legendary FBI agent, and that means something. That means something. And we have confirmation that there is ongoing investigations with all of that. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And there should be. So thank you so much, Laura, for your prayers and your love. We are absolutely swamped with um, evidence. With evidence, people are sending us in so much evidence. You saw that with the Lori Franchi um, uh, Brian Coleman. I think it's Brian. I don't know. But a guy named Coleman, he was on YouTube talking about this. He was saying the rank was an E8. It's not, it's an E9. So we decided that we needed to put it out there. Maybe he will see that. You can tag him on that. Um, and about the whole um, Erica's mother being in the military. Wow. Wow. That it's just jaw dropping. And having all of those GE type, because she worked for GE, type of big contracts. And then you have Erica Kirk involved in what seems to be grooming of teenagers, young people, underage people. And I'm just wondering if Charlie Kirk found out. And there's these nonsense rumors that he's still alive. I do not believe that because the evidence is too compelling that he was the way his body reacted to whatever killed him is too compelling. Okay. Just the flinched hands, the timing of everything. It's just like there's no sloppy work in that at all. Whereas with the case itself is just riddled with sloppy work, right? Which confirms that the Texas Rangers have been weaponized, politically weaponized. And yeah, they need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable. So, any questions? The drones, I think I've answered. Oh, yeah, why? Why they have not put a warrant for an arrest for Lance Twiggs? Because they're protecting this Mormon faction El Paso cartel. That's what they're doing. They are protecting the El Paso um, Mormon faction cartel. And that's very, very evident in all of our evidence that we have been putting out. I also, posted about the Walmart shooting because I feel like that is so important for people to understand the manipulation and this false narrative. That needs to be corrected. And so I put that up there. Okay, put it on Facebook. Yeah, you can go to the Facebook and X and Truth and Telegram, even though I haven't put it on Telegram yet, this post, but I will. But there's lots there. You can go there, and we are just so glad for any of your tips, any of your expertise. We're very, very glad. Thank you so much. And we will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye.